This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.
Ever wonder about the stories of the women around you?
We wanted to create an intentional space for women to share the wisdom they have gained through life experiences.
Tune in to be in awe of some of the Wonder Women in our midst. Wondering Women on OAR FM Dunedin.
To our listeners, you're tuning in to Wondering Women. I'm your host today, Emma Hamilton, and I'm super excited today to welcome our special guest, Ilana, onto the show.
Hello.
So fun to have Ilana on. Today, we're hoping to focus on her journey and there's updates with hula hooping. Ilana has many interests, though, but excited to just focus on hula hooping today and wherever the conversation takes us. I met Ilana back in maybe November, December. You're actually one of the first people I met in Dunedin. And you and your family were super generous, had me over for Christmas, and we shared fondue and really delicious homemade spirits. And just during all of that, I remember you were prepping to embark on your adventures in your van in New Zealand and abroad. And so Ilana's calling in from across the ditch today in Melbourne, Australia. So we're not in the studio together, but it's super fun to get to now see that you are doing that traveling that you were planning to do and to hear some updates. So, Ilana, if you could introduce yourself to the listeners, maybe your connection to Otipoti Dunedin, what you've been up to lately, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in Dunedin. I went to school there. And ended up going to university and doing a Bachelor of Physiotherapy. And then I ended up doing 3 years of work as a physio in a cute little clinic called A+ Physio. And then 6 months ago, I decided to take a bit of a break and spend a bit of my life being nomadic, I guess. I spent about 4 months in my van, traveling around the South Island of New Zealand, and doing a little bit of festival hopping and kind of just making some jewelry from my van as well. Yeah.
And how have you been hula hooping at the festivals, or a mix of like being a participant learner and a performer, or what does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been mainly performing at festivals over the summertime, and doing some workshops and teaching people different types of flow arts and hula hooping in particular. Yeah, it's a really nice way of getting a free ticket to some of these festivals, and then just being able to kind of enjoy my time for the rest of it and meeting really awesome people that are into the same things that I'm into.
Yeah. Oh, how cool. And how did you get into hula hooping?
Yeah, so I ended up I have quite a few friends that do flow arts, and I ended up going to a Kiwi festival called Circulation Festival. This is held in Whare Flat in Dunedin. And there I met a really close friend called Bex, and she was a hooper, and she just like instantly inspired me to start hula hooping, and I've been doing it since then. And this was like maybe 3 years ago, two to 3 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. And what? And do you would you hoop together, or was she more of like a mentor, someone who inspired you, or do you still have that relationship?
Yeah, definitely a mentor. It's really awesome. We're just like, sometimes we just have these conversations of just like geeking over hooping and different types of hula hoops. And we are planning some performances together, which is really cool. I usually solo perform, but doing some performances with her would be really awesome, especially doing some fire hooping with her. But she's definitely been, I call her my hoop auntie because she just like follows my journey and she's so inspiring and we just bounce ideas off each other all the time.
Oh, how cool. I feel like that those relationships are like such important motivators and just add so much to pursuing something that you already love so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
So cool. You mentioned you two like to geek over different types of hoops, and I did some Instagram stalking of your hula hooping page and saw that you have or had access to an LED hoop.
Yes.
And so I didn't even know that. I'm very unfamiliar. I didn't know that was a thing. It looked so cool, but wondering if you have any favorite hoops or like how many hoops do you have? Or any that you've been geeking over lately?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think at the moment I own 4 hula hoops. I did own 5, but I just sold one. So one of my hula hoops is the LED hula hoop. I call it Luna. She has been with me for the last year or so. I got her from Australia. And then I have 2 slightly smaller hula hoops, which are the same size. And one is like really sparkly and the other one is blue. And they're really fun because you can do like hoop doubles with them. So you can do not only solo hooping, but do some pretty cool things. It's kind of similar to poi. There's a lot of crossover between the flow arts. So if you have 2 hoops, it's similar to having like 2 poi. And then I had a fire hoop that I sold. But yeah, that's I will be buying a new one hopefully soon, which I'm really excited about.
Do you know which one, or do you have plans for that one you're going to buy, or just
So because I'm in Australia at the moment, I am going to go to a lovely little shop called Three Worlds. It's based in Brunswick Heads on the East Coast, quite close to Byron Bay. And they sell a whole bunch of props, especially fire props. So I'm going to buy some fireworks from there, and then I'm going to get a breakdown hoop, which means it's easier to travel with. So then that was why I sold my old fire hoop, because I couldn't put it in my suitcase. I couldn't backpack with it. So so I'm going to get one of those and then pop those fireworks on, and hopefully I can keep hooping with fire.
Wow. Did you bring all your other hoops with you to Australia? Did they all fit in your suitcase?
No.
Okay.
I brought one. I only have one breakdown hoops, which is one of the hoop doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I really want to get more because they are super easy to take with me. Yeah.
Do they just collapse?
Yeah, so it's like a four part hoop. Mm-hmm. You can also, like normal hula hoops, you can they open up and then you can roll them into a bag or fold them down. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And then I noticed you've been doing more like flow arts. Would you call it something else when you hoop with fire, or kind of similar? Or like when did you what would you call it, and how have you gotten into that more recently, or?
Yeah, I would still call it a flow art, definitely. Mm-hmm. I'm actually learning a new prop at the moment, which is called a dragon staff. Basically, it's like one big stick with like 4 bits of fire on either side, so 4 wicks. And that is really awesome. Like playing around with that, I felt definitely a similar connection to when I first started hooping, and I haven't felt that with any other prop. And the contact dragon staff is a little bit different because it's all on body. You're just rolling the stick all over you pretty much. And then with the hula hoop, you really can like direct it a little bit more, like you're moving the hoop rather than the hoop is moving you, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And did you say what the stick is the staff is made out
The
of?
staff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it can be a few different things, but mine's aluminium, so it's a little bit heavy.
Okay.
And that means my flow is a little bit slower. But you can get some that are like, I think you can get some that are fiberglass, and they are a little bit lighter and they go a lot faster.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you kind of just mentioned sort of like with this new, it's dragon staff, right?
Hmm.
You you haven't felt like this, maybe, I don't know if excited is the right word, or you haven't felt this way about a prop since when you kind of first started hooping. I'm wondering if you could describe that feeling, or like it clearly, hooping is something you're very passionate about and spending a lot of time doing even while you're traveling and teaching and learning still. Just like what keeps you going with hooping, and what benefits do you notice about having it be a big part of your life?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's called flow arts for a reason, right? So basically you end up going into like a little bit of a flow state with it. So especially when I'm hooping and playing with my dragon staff, it's just like me and that prop, and that's it. Like I'm not thinking about anything else during that time. And it's a very meditative process, I think. And when I first started hooping, I was kind of going through a really rough time with my work. Like I was feeling really drained and burnt out. And having that motivation to spend 5 or 10 minutes out in the backyard of my flat in the garden, and just picking up the hula hoop and having some music in my ears and getting some movement in my body was so helpful. I think that was like the highlight of my day during many of those days during that time. And I would highly recommend for anyone who's like struggling with a bit of their mental health. It's just such a great way to get movement, get breath, and like move your chi, your energy through your body, and kind of work through things that you've picked up or gone through throughout the day. I've talked to a lot of people that do flow arts, and a lot of them resonate with the fact that that's really helped with their mental health. Yeah.
And thanks for sharing about that. And I'm wondering, when you mentioned you would go out in your backyard and just move for a few minutes. When you would go out and do that, would you go out with any sort of like plan, or would you just go out and be like, I'm just going to move with the hoop and see what happens? Like, or kind of depend on the day? What would that process be like?
It depends on the day. Like sometimes I'm like, today I want to learn a new trick and figure out how I can add it to my flow. And then I'll pop on Instagram, usually where I get a lot of my inspiration from, and find a cool hoop trick that someone's done. And then I'll try and figure out a way to add it into my flow. And then sometimes I'm just like, I just got to move.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be like, I'll just be like out in the backyard, just having a really good hoop to whatever is coming through my music.
Yeah. Do you usually have your headphones in, or do you ever? Yeah. Always some music
usually
on.
have some. Yeah, I can't have like big overhead headphones though, because a lot of the time I'll hit myself in the head with my hula hoop. So it's not great because they'll fall off and knock off and whatever. So some AirPods are the best solution.
Right. Or I could see maybe having like headphones with a string could add a new obstacle to
yeah.
So AirPods or wireless Bluetooth headphones are the way to go. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
And then you mentioned too that it kind of the flow outs, the hula hooping became kind of an escape, or I don't know, escape or just something to redirect your energy, and really presented a lot of health benefits for you while you were working, right, as a physio. I'm wondering though, because you are in hooping, doing so much movement and getting connected to your body and how it moves, if there is any overlap in your training as a physio and hooping, or if there's not and they feel quite separate for you.
Yeah, definitely. Like Well, one of the things, well, there's two things actually. I think the first thing is that with physio, we really encourage people to do the things that they love in order to try and get better and stronger. So if someone really enjoys going to the gym, we give them exercises that they're able to do in the gym. Or if someone really likes going for a walk, we give them exercises that they can do on their walk. So there is kind of like an overlap of like if someone was really into flow arts, we could definitely like see if we could help them that way. And then the other thing is like I guess it's building a little bit of resilience, especially if you're like learning a trick that you can't get. It's a bit like skateboarding, like you work for months and months on end to get this trick and then you finally get it. It's really, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also like building that consistency of being able to do it multiple times and not failing multiple times. Yeah, I think those are the main things. And then also like a lot of the issues we see in physio again is going back to like your nervous system. If your nervous system's really dysregulated, you're going to start feeling a lot more pain in your body as well. So it is one way of like kind of call like pain theory, but it's kind of like trying to almost distract your brain from the pain and to doing something that puts you into a flow state. Yeah.
I'm curious if you know anything about when someone is to feel dysregulation in their nervous system, if there are certain areas that people feel that pain first, or is it totally different for everyone?
Yeah, it's pretty different, but like I mean, the main thing we would see with physio a lot of the time nowadays is a lot of neck and shoulder problems, especially with us working on computers all the time. And then also just like lower back pains. Yeah, but this is the other thing. Like you can apply almost everything to flow arts too, because if someone's got low back pain, like with hula hooping, you get an amazing core strength. So with that, you're already going to be like treating yourself. Yeah.
Are there any? Do you do exercise outside of hooping that like you do in order to help build your strength for certain areas of hooping, or?
Not really.
Yeah, mostly.
I just
stick with practicing hooping.
Practicing the hoop is usually enough. Like it's training the parts of your body that need to be strong. I do generally just like enjoy doing hiking and stuff and getting my cardio up. You'll be surprised at how, cardio, it's quite cardio based flow arts. You actually, when you're dancing, you're moving quite a lot and you actually find that you get short of breath after a little while. Yeah.
That's so cool. I guess I'm wondering, this might be changing topics a little bit, but I think you maybe mentioned earlier about, I guess you've been doing a lot of traveling and hooping along the way and exploring other flow arts. Do you have any like memories or like new memories or surprises, or like just curious if you have any unexpected places or people that hula hooping has brought you to? Could be along your travels or before you started kind of living your more nomadic life.
Yeah, well, I think I kind of accidentally fell into performing because, especially fire performing, because especially this year at Rolling Hurts. In February, I had signed up to do the cabaret, which was like, I was just going to do it with my LED hoop. That's all good, like no problems. And then I got to site and they were like, oh, to get your ticket refunded, you're also going to have to be a fire you're going to have to do something with fire. And I'd like kind of like misheard the message, and I was like, oh sweet, I'll probably just be on like fire safety, which is like people that just kind of look after the fire circle, make sure no one's catching on fire and wearing good clothing and stuff. And then I just like was getting a little bit confused, and they're like, no, you're not on fire safety. And I was like, what? I don't understand. Like, what do I need to do? And then they were like, no, you're fire performing. And I was like, what? okay. And then I just ended up having to do it, and it ended up working out really well. And it was cool because that was kind of like my gateway into performing at other festivals after that, because I could just tell people like, look, I've done Rolling Hurts. I'm happy to do some fire performing if I can get a ticket refunded.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how many times had you moved with fire before you had to perform at the festival?
So
Unknowingly.
So this is kind of funny because I ended up actually, my first time probably picking up a fire hoop was at Circulation in November last year. So I had like 4 months. And I honestly maybe only played with my fire hoop during that time, maybe like 3 or 4 times.
Whoa.
So it was pretty nerve-wracking, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you mentioned it went well. Do you feel like you got into like sort of flow state when you were performing there eventually still?
Yeah. So I was really lucky, actually. I also have a prop which is called palm torches, and they're super easy. So I started performing with those, and that was like kind of like a confidence builder. And then, after that, I could start doing a little bit more with the hoop, and
Okay, so kind of start easy and build your way up.
And build up.
Yeah, I think I have seen the videos of you like moving they're like small torches and you kind of move them from your palms, right?
You can just dance with them.
Or just
They're
dance
super
with them.
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now you have a hoop that you can put fire on too, or you're looking to?
I did.
Yeah.
I did, but I'm going to get a new one. Yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah.
So cool. And then you also do some performing, but I also noticed you have some, I know you lead workshops like you mentioned, but then also have some like really cool online educational videos and tutorials for the hoop. Can you talk a bit about those?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just recently started off a Patreon, which is basically like a platform where you can post like tutorial videos for anything, not necessarily just flow arts. And then you can get people to pay like a monthly subscription, or to pay just like for one video. And I've started doing like combination hoop videos. So a lot of people will do like a tutorial on one trick, whereas I like to do a tutorial on like multiple tricks, and how you can combine them into your flow, or combine them all together.
Oh, yeah. Cool. So do you recommend them who do you recommend your videos for?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think that there's a thing such as beginner, intermediate, and advanced. It just depends how much work you're willing to put into learning your tricks. So there will be some tricks that you'll get faster than others, and it's different person to person as well. So some people get tricks faster than others. So I would say anyone can pick it up. Especially with the tutorial videos that I've posted. Like, it literally just depends on how much time you're willing to dedicate to the trick.
Do you have any do you have any tricks that you're working on right now, or that are kind of stumping you, or that you've like finally cracked and are excited about?
Yeah, there's this one trick called the kick up wedgie, which is like you're kind of doing like this thing with the hoops like in between your legs, and you kick it up all the way until it's above your head. So without using your hands.
Whoa, so are your hands just down kind of at your sides?
Yeah, you kind of just like tuck them out of the way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And then there's this other one, which I'm still struggling to crack, which is called the pizza toss, where you're just like hula hooping around your waist. And then you like take the hoop from behind your back and you toss it up above your head. And then as it's dropping back down, you want to try and get into the hoop again.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So cool. So besides your Patreon educational videos that are for anyone who is eager to get moving with the hoop or other flow arts, what are good ways for people to follow along your journey with the hoop and support you?
Yeah, so big part of the socials, obviously. So my Instagram is at anali.flows, anali.flows. And then I guess like going to festivals, and most of the time there'll be someone that is teaching some hula hoop. Circulation Festival is not on this year, but I'm hoping it will be on next year, and I most certainly will be there teaching maybe some dragon stuff by that point too. So teaching hula hoop and dragon, yeah.
And what time of the year is circulation? Is it summertime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's usually October, November.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like just nearing springtime.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe keep your eyes open for Circulation 2027.
Yeah, please come along.
Yeah.
It's super family friendly too. Like, anyone could come, anybody. Yeah.
Wow. Well, we are just basically out of time today, but this was so fun to chat about hooping and flow arts. It's been really fun, even though we're not in the same place, to see your videos on social media. I'm just in awe. So thank you so much for making time to chat about it with me and the listeners today, Ilana. You're fabulous.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. All right. You are tuning into Wondering Woman on OAR FM Dunedin. Hope you're having a lovely day. And until next time, ka kite.
This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.